This is a table that you will find in your notes. It's for the lab for chapter 5, tutorial 5. We're going to do a pivot table and a pivot chart. First of all, there's something wrong with the date. I see it seems to be set at like 42,372 and then 73. Actually, that's the number of days since the first. I think it's the 1st of January, 1901, something like that. And we need to reconvert these back into dates. Somehow they've lost their format. So you just need to highlight the column, format the cells, and then just choose a date and choose a format that you want. So that 14th of March 12 looks like a good one, so we'll have that. And you can see that they are actually real dates. Okay, so in order to get a pivot table, we need to turn this into an Excel table. We do that by going to Insert and then Table. And it highlights the entire table. That goes down to 123 lines. I'm not going to scan all the way down there. And the table does have headers. Okay, so now we have a nice table. Let's choose a table style for it, something a bit different from the blue. So how about the black and the orange? Or even the blue, or something maybe a bit lighter. Let's choose that orange there, that's quite nice. Okay, so what we want to do is insert next a pivot table. So we go back to Insert and Pivot Table, and it highlights the table for us. And we're going to insert this into a new worksheet. So as soon as I click OK, a new worksheet is created, sheet 3, and this information is put into it. As you can see, you've got this section over here which contains the fields from your table in the other worksheet, and these headings here: filters, columns, rows and values. The rows will appear as row labels across the pivot table. The columns will be column labels down the pivot table. The filters obviously are going to be what you're filtering on, maybe the day of the week or something like that. And the values are what are going to appear in the body of the table. So if we just pull down some of the headings into these sections, you can see that if we put down the week number, pull down the week number, and just pull it down into rows, you can see that over here that the week numbers are appearing, and the amount into values, you can see that it's a count of the amount. Now if you look here, what we don't want the count of the amount, we want the actual sum of the amount. So if we pull that arrow down and we go to value field settings, and you can see here you've got sum, count, average, max, min, that sort of thing. So we just click on sum of the amount, and we can just change that to total, but it shows the sum of the amount. Okay, and then it puts in the actual values. Another thing that we can add to the table is the TM date, which can go after week, and the segment, which can go after the TM date. And you can see that we get quite a long pivot table showing all the different results. In fact, it's almost longer than the original table. We might not want it in that format, so we can actually move things around and make it look a bit better. And we can move the segment over to the column side of things. So each segment will have its own column. So that makes it considerably shorter, about a third of the length as it was before, and easier to understand. You can see that we've got food, gifts, specialty drinks, and a grand total. And we've also got the date that the things were sold on and how much was sold each particular day in each category. You'll notice that none of the values have a currency symbol at all, which they should have, because they're all currency values. So all we have to do to change the format of all of these numbers is to come down here to the total, pull down in the values section, click on Value Field Settings and Number Format, and then we can just click on accountancy or currency in this particular case, and choose OK and OK again, and you'll see that everything has a dollar sign now. We can also give friendly names to headings. So instead of having the labels, the heading column labels, we can just change that by clicking on it and writing the word sector. And likewise for row labels, we can remove that and replace it with week, which provides us with an easier to use system. Next, we can add a slicer to this information. So we can go to Pivot Table Tools, Analyze, Insert Slicer. And we're going to do it for the segment. So we're going to have a slicer that is based on segment. Okay. And here it is. So that if we want to just view coffee only, click on coffee only, and coffee only will appear. Food only will appear. Gifts, specialty drinks, and any combination thereof. Remember to hold Control down and click on another one, and you should get coffee and specialty drinks appearing. So you can have any combination you like, and don't forget that this filter button with the X on removes any filtering, and you return to where you were before. The next thing that you can insert into this is a pivot chart. So you have to be somewhere in the pivot table to do this, and a pivot chart will appear. So if the pivot chart is grayed out, just click in the table and it should appear. So we click on pivot chart. We decide what sort of chart to have. We're going to have a column chart for each of them. I'll just click OK. Now you can resize this and move it to wherever you like on the screen, and you can see that it has put in various labels and legends and things like that, which you can change in the normal way. But if you watch now, if I click on coffee, only the graph for coffee will appear. Food, only the graph for food. Specific drinks, specialty drinks, gifts, or any combination thereof using the Control key. I'll give the graph itself alters its scale to accommodate all the values that you want to put in it, and of course the pivot table itself changes at the same time.